Hi, welcome back to my channel. We're doing another reorganizing video. I feel like I do these every couple of months just because I don't love the way my bookshelves look for very long. I am trying to find the perfect kind of setup for me that I wouldn't have to constantly feel the urge of reorganizing my bookshelves. As you can see, it's a little bit of a mess. I've already pulled out my physical TBR from the bookshelves. That's what you see on the tables. If you haven't watched me go through my entire physical TBR video yet, go ahead and watch that video if you're interested, because I literally count out every single book that is on my physical TBR. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do today. I want to move my display books up a little higher. Yeah, we're just gonna go through it as we go through it rather than me ramble, but I'm going to show you guys how it's set up right now. Okay, let's go over these really quickly. So obviously you have my top fantasy shelf. There are some books slash series that I'm going to move out of this shelf because of my losing love for the series, unfortunately. For example, and then the second shelf basically is where I have the completed series and I read all the books for it. And then you have more standalone fantasy books with Cassandra Clare and even more fantasy books. Some of these I do want to move around because they just don't make sense in my head to be next to each other. And then over here has always been my display shelf. This tiny Billy bookcase has always been display books, but I think I want to change that up a little bit. Here is mainly, if you cannot tell, Jessa Hastings. Love, love, love her series Magnolia Parks. And then I have Ali Hazelwood, who is one of my comfort romance writers. Even though some of her books aren't exactly great sometimes, I personally just really enjoy her writing style when I'm in the mood for it. And then I have Emily Henry. I adore Emily Henry. If you guys have not read any of her books, I highly recommend. They are just more women's fiction. There's more than just the romance in her books, and I just love that about it. Then you have the rest of my adult romances that I've read bleeding into YA, and then this is just a mess. I think I just didn't have room for these books that have different genres, and I just put them here because I had room on this shelf, and I definitely do not like it here because why is the Nightingale there? Or just they're all just so different, and I don't know, I just don't like it there. And then this is my mystery going into thriller dystopian? Guys, I don't know. This is why we're doing this video. And then we have more dystopian. We got the Shatter Me series. This is the special editions, regular paperbacks, and then the rest of my manga and graphic novels that I have. I want to go through this and kind of redo my bookshelves so I love it again and I'm happy to look at it and it just makes sense in my head and not have to worry about it for another, hopefully, fingers crossed, up to 6 months, because as of right now my track record is like a few months. This is the current state of my office. Bookshelves empty. I separated them, all the fantasies together, dystopians, romances, manga, and then over here obviously TBR, and then we have more dystopian and mystery thriller. That is not a mystery thriller, nor is that. Great to know that I'm still doing bad at organizing. Okay, so this middle shelf originally was the display shelf only, but I think I'm gonna turn this into my TBR shelf. I'll have it separating the genres that I usually do, like fantasy, whatever, romance, whatever, and then in the middle it'll be my physical TBR, so that way I can like really see it, really see it, and be like, cool, I have a lot of books I need to read, so no need to buy anymore. Got this whole shelf filled with TBR books, and then there's still some left on this table, so I think I'm going to put up all of the books I have read already, and whatever space at the bottom that I have, I'll put the rest of my TBR. I think this is the best that it's gonna be for the time being, only because I want it laid out a certain way, so it might not look completely aesthetically pleasing, but I have a system to the madness, I promise. I promise. So we're gonna just go through quickly and let you guys know my thought process throughout the whole mess. I don't think it's a mess. That's an exaggeration. I don't think it's a mess, but it might look a little like bare on certain shelves. Okay, so I'm really happy with how the top turned out because it's exactly how I imagined it. It displays everything that I love, but in a not cluttered. I just really like how it looks. So you have obviously ACOTAR, you have the Infernal Devices, Throne of Glass. I'm sorry if the camera's a little unstable. I'm like holding you guys up really, really high. Got my Magnolia Parks, and then my special edition Magnolia Parks. And then if we go over here, this is my like books that I really love, except maybe for Crescent City. I don't love it, but I thought I should keep it by Sarah. And then you got Carissa Broadbent, and then you have the Six of Crows duology. I don't know why this is backwards. There we go, fixed. And then down here are fantasy books that I still enjoy, but I don't love at the moment, and that is Fourth Wing. I obviously still enjoy the series and I'm going to continue the series, but I just have lost the love I had for it since the first book, and that's okay. I think that just happens in the middle of series sometimes. And then here are fantasy series that I really enjoyed and are a part of a series. So I left room on this shelf because I wanted to make sure that I could fit the second book for One Dark Window, the third book for this series, and then the other two for this, and then the other two for Fireborn as well. Wanted to make sure I had room on the shelves for when I do finish the series and I can just, you know, put the books up without having to mess around with the bookshelves even more. So with this, I'm hoping the layout of my bookshelves will last a little bit longer without me having to rearrange every single time I finish a book. And then you have fantasy that I enjoyed but did not love. They're just, you know, they were good, I guess. Some of them, okay. I should probably sell these too, because I did not like this duology. You know, you get what I mean. They're just other fantasies. And then you have Red Rising, which is sci-fi fantasy. I don't have other books in that category, so I didn't know what to put it next to. So I just put it here for now with Poppy War. I know Poppy War is kind of like fantasy-esque, but it's also one of those books where it does not fall into a genre of books that I have at the moment. So it's just sitting there currently. And then down here you have Cassandra Clare's Immortal Instruments. I did it by size order rather than book order because it was really bothering me, and I don't like the series enough to buy matching books. And then I have the Last Hours special editions, other fantasy like standalones, fantasies that I do not plan currently on finishing. My Rick Riordan, the first 5 books of Percy Jackson. I got Twilight, and then I have Everlost. I want to say that this is kind of like my mid-grade fantasy shelf, but I'm pretty sure Twilight is YA. And then I have an empty shelf right here for future books. But the reason why I did it for the fantasy shelf is because I feel like I read more fantasy than other genres, so I wanted to make sure I had enough room here. On the middle shelf, these are books on my TBR. I got the Fairy Loot books series that I'm in the middle of, and then up to here are like fantasy books that are more likely to read soon. And then I have Cassandra Clare with another fantasy book I plan on reading soon. And then these are kind of like my up next books that I plan on reading very, very soon, or like I have plans for. And then down here are the rest of my TBR books, and this doesn't really have any type of order. I just put them in. All the way up here, we have my other Magnolia Parks. I have Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, and then Elsie Silver. I have this one, the Mindfuck series, as the first book on the shelf because this is the only dark romance book I have, really. So it's here to kind of just like put it aside. And then we start on Ali Hazelwood. These are my special editions. And then these are kind of like standalone adult romances that are like fun, you know. Starting here, the reason why I have it split up like this is so I have room for more romances in the future. I laid this out to take up a little bit more room. These are the YA romances that I've read. Down here is my YA mystery, and then bleeds into thriller mystery. So obviously we have Jennifer Lynn Barnes, my favorite, and then we have Maureen Johnson, and then this is a duology. I haven't read the second one for this yet. If We Were Villains. It's more dark academia, but it has a mystery vibe, so I kept it here. And then mystery thrillers, and I left room for future mysteries and mystery thrillers. Down here are the dystopian series. I do plan on rereading The Hunger Games very soon, and also reading the other books that have come out. So there are 2 books right now that have come out recently, and I haven't read those yet, but I want to. But before doing that, I want to reread the original trilogy. Divergent, I don't want to talk about it. Shatter Me, if you guys ever read Shatter Me, in my humble opinion, I think you should read the first 3 books and then give it up. The rest of the series was just so all over the place. I enjoyed the first 3, and then I enjoyed a little bit of the second part, like the second half of the 6 books, and then towards the end I was just like, okay, maybe we dragged that a little bit too long. Down here is the miscellaneous just fiction, and then we go into my graphic novels and manga that I have. And that's it. I left room, obviously, to let it grow. I do plan on getting extenders for the top in the future, so I can move this up and then I'll have extra space. But as of right now, I have plenty of space. It might not look super aesthetically pleasing, but I'm happy with it. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe got a few ideas for your own bookshelves at home. I will let you know how this layout works out for me, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!